Assalamu alaikum students, how are you all? I am a social studies teacher and our topic of today is our country in the world. The map below shows the continents of Europe, Asia and Africa. Pakistan is strategically located as a link between the Islamic countries to the west and north and the South Asian countries to the east. As you can see, this is the map of Europe, Asia, Africa landmass showing the Islamic countries which are colored as green and the South Asian countries which are colored as brown. As you can see, this map shows a subcontinent and its neighboring countries. The above map. This map shows a subcontinent and its neighboring countries. The subcontinent is largely shut off from the rest of Asia by deserts in the west and by the Hindu Kush, the Karakoram, and the Himalayas, mountains in the northwest and north. Pakistan is in the northwest of the subcontinent. All through history, very important travel routes to and from the rest of Asia have passed through it. Because of the passes through the mountains in the west, the Khyber and Bolan passes led to Afghanistan and on to Iran, Central Asia, and even Europe. In the north, the High Khunjra Pass, 4,700 meters, leads to China. And the below map shows the South Asian countries in alphabetical order: Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, the Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Now, this is a relief map of the subcontinent. A relief map shows, usually by means of different colors, the height of the land above the sea level. It also shows rivers and lakes and other geographical features. You can see that the northern parts of the subcontinent are very high, up to almost 9,000 meters. Land below 300 meters is colored as green, and this is usually the most fertile area because there is plenty of water for crops. Deserts are also colored as green because they are usually below 300 meters in height. But they have brown dots to show that they are of no use for farming. Most of the water in the northern part of the subcontinent comes from the two great river systems, the Indus and the Ganges. The valley of the river Ganges is the most fertile part of India. The land is low-lying and there is plenty of water for irrigation. This is where most of the India's agriculture takes place. The river Ganges enters the Bay of Bengal through a huge delta in which the rivers are changing their course all the time. Much of this delta is in Bangladesh. The low-lying countryside floods almost every year when storm hits the coast in late summer, destroying crops and killing people and animals. Now, these are some terms that you will read about in geography. They describe the physical features of found on Earth. Now, number one is mountains. Mountains are the highest lands. There is no fixed height at which a hill becomes a mountain, but mountains are usually above 2,000 till 3,000 meters. Some mountains like the Himalayas or Karakoram are sharp or pointed. It means that in terms of geography, they are young mountains between 1.5 to 66 million years old. Older mountains have had their sharp points worn away by rain, frost, and wind so that they are more rounded. Now, next is hills. These are the lands above sea level, but not as high as mountains. They are generally covered with vegetation such as grass, trees, crops on terraced fields. Number next is plateau. These are areas of flat land well above the sea level. Some plateaus are fertile while others are poor land. It depends upon their height, amount of rainfall, etc. Okay, now plains. These are areas of flat land at lower levels. Some are at sea level or slightly higher. The plains are important as this is where the most farming takes place. Next is deserts. These are areas where nothing or only tough plants can grow. There are hot deserts where temperature is very high during the day. There is very little or no water, or else the soil is too poor for anything to grow. There are also called there are also cold deserts called tundra, where the climate is too cold for vegetation. These can be found on high mountain tops or in polar regions. Next is lakes. Lakes. These are inland seas completely surrounded by land. Lakes can have either fresh water or salt water. Moving on towards river, this is flowing or moving water. These can be tiny streams or mighty rivers many kilometers wide. The waters in rivers is fresh except for a short distance where they enter the sea. Next is estuary. This is where important rivers widen as they enter the seas. Estuaries can make good harbors for ships. And the last one is delta. Sometimes, sometimes when a river enters the sea, it breaks into many small rivers or channels in a V shape. The land here can be very fertile because of the mud brought down by the river, but it is also very liable to flooding. Okay, so this is all for today. We'll meet you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.